Hi everyone, this is the Art School of SFB, and today we are talking about medieval art and painted initial. The Middle Ages or medieval times in Europe was a long period of history from 500 to 1500 AD. That's 1000 years. It covers a time from the fall of the Roman Empire to the rise of the Ottoman Empire. This was a time of castles and peasants, guilds and monasteries, cathedrals and crusades. In the Middle Ages, they invented books as we know them, not rolls of papyrus or parchment, but spreadsheets tied together. They were manually written and illustrated. Each book was unique. And they were very expensive, beautifully designed and illustrated, often with a cover made out of silver or gold. There were always a lot of gold used in illustrations. That's why those books were called illuminated manuscripts. Artists that illustrated them often decorated the first letter of the paragraph. They would add not just ornaments but even human figures around them. We are inviting you to create your own initial today and incorporate some figures or objects with it. Ideally, something that represents you and only you. I start with a quick sketch. I'm going to use the first letter of my name, which is M. And I want one of the strokes be a tree and another a stained glass. Also, I'm an artist. I love to draw, I love to walk, I love birds and, cats. So I decided to draw myself hiding inside of this tree and drawing a bird and a cat. Also, I'm going to put some paints and some brushes and a palette next to me. Once I'm done with the sketch, I start my final artwork, and my composition is a square, and I use a ruler to measure the side lengths. After that, I marked top, bottom, left and right for my letter, drew it, and started positioning the elements. A girl who is drawing, a bird, so on and so forth. Somewhere in the middle of the process, I decided to add an ornamental border and just added 1 inch to each side. And later I'm adding some leaves and berries to this border. Since my drawing has a lot of details and I'm redrawing some parts of it over and over again, I decided just to cut it a little bit and show you the final drawing. Here we are. Now I'm ready for the coloring. But before I proceed with the coloring, I want to remind you how to work with watercolor in general. First of all, please always mix water and pigment in the cell of your palette. It's much easier, and this way you can control the amount of water you're adding. More water means lighter and more transparent color, and less water means more vibrant and darker color. If you put wet brush strokes next to each other, they will blend together. So do that if you want a blend. Blends in watercolor are awesome. You can also apply wet paint onto a wet surface. You begin by dampening the surface of the paper with clear water. Then you just add a pigment from your brush. The resultant washes have soft blended edges. Colors run into each other to create beautiful textures. To create thick lines, press on your brush and watch your line getting wider. And for a thin line, hold your brush as if you are about to stick it into the paper and draw with the very tip of it. The blending technique is perfect if you want to make a seamless gradient for the sky or ocean or another kind of a background. But for the most of today's project, we'll need another technique which is called glazing or layering. I'm going to apply first layer to the entire picture because I like this ivory tint of an old book page. I don't want this color to blend with any other, so I left it to dry. In the meantime, I can mix other colors on my palette. I think one of the best way to work with layers is to start gradually by working from light to dark. Always paint your first lightest tones at the beginning of a new painting by applying thin, diluted washes rather than strong and thick paint. Each new layer of paint slightly increases tonal values and modifies colors. And while you're waiting for one area to dry, you can work on the other one. I want to paint leaves using several different colors and don't want them to blend. So I start with a green color, and while the top of the tree is drying, I paint branches on the right. After that, I can get back to the already dried area and apply yellow paint without worrying about blends. So basically this is what we do today. We paint one area, we let it to dry, we wait, work on another area and then get back and apply another layer to increase the tonal value or to modify color a little bit, or just continue working on some details we don't want to blend. And at some point I will get back to the tree and to the stained glass to make the colors brighter and darker. Please remember that for the thin line you need to hold your brush as if you're about to stick it into the paper and draw with the very tip of it. In this case you will be able to produce thin, neat strokes. My letter looks too pale and I'm increasing the tonal value and making it brighter, more saturated by adding another layer of color. Also, for smaller details, use less water in your mixture. It will help you to deal with tiny details. Alright, I'm almost done with my illuminated letter, and let's take a look at the other students' projects, and now it's time for you to start your own.